Let's finish Matthew 23 and reading indeed from the Albert Barnes Bible commentary. So, verse 27, like unto whited sepulchres. For the construction of sepulchres, see my notes on Matthew 13:28. Those tombs were annually whitewashed to prevent the people from accidentally coming in contact with them as they went up to Jerusalem. And that would be for the three pilgrim festivals of Passover, Pentecost, and Feast of Tabernacles. This custom is still continued. Well, it was in Albert Barnes's day. Dr. Thompson, in Land and the Book, Volume 1, page 148, says, quote, I have been in places where this is repeated very often. The graves are kept clean and white as snow, a very striking emblem of those painted hypocrites, the Pharisees, beautiful without, but full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness within. End of quote. The law considered those persons unclean who had touched anything belonging to the dead. Numbers 19 and verse 16. Sepulchres were therefore often whitewashed, that they might be distinctly seen. Thus, whited, they appeared beautiful, but within they contained the bones and corrupting bodies of the dead. So the Pharisees, their outward conduct appeared well, but their hearts were full of hypocrisy, envy, pride, lust, and malice, fitly represented by the corruption within a whited tomb. Verse 29, you build the tombs of the prophets, etc. That is, you build sepulchres on or tombs over the prophets that had been slain. This they did professedly from venerating and respecting for their character, respecting their character. This is often done in the East at the present day. Well, again, that's in Albert Barnes's time. Don't know if it's done today or not. And indeed elsewhere, he says. He goes on to say, among the Mohammedans, it is a common way of showing respect for any distinguished man to build a tomb for him. By doing this, they professed respect for his character and veneration for his memory. So the Pharisees, by building tombs in this manner, professedly approved of the character and conduct of the prophets and the disapproval of the conduct of the fathers that killed them. Garnish, etc. That is, adore or ornamental. This was done by rebuilding them with more taste, decorating them, and keeping them neat and clean. The original word means also to show any proper honor to the memory of the dead, as by speaking well of them, praying near them, or rearing synagogues near them in honor of their memory. Verse 30, and say, etc. This they profess to say by rebuilding their tombs. They also probably publicly expressed their disapproval of the conduct of their fathers. All this in building and ornamenting tombs was a profession of extraordinary piety. Our Lord showed them it was mere pretense. Verse 31. You be witnesses unto yourselves. The emphasis, Barnes says here, the emphasis lies in the words to yourselves. It is an appeal to their conscience. It was not by their building the tombs that they were witnesses that they were the children of those who slew the prophets, but that in spite of all the pretense of piety, under all this cloak of profession, They knew in their conscience and were witnesses to themselves that it was mere hypocrisy, and that they really approved of the conduct of those who slew the prophets, children of them, etc., resembling them, approving their conduct, inheriting their feelings. They not only showed that they were descended from them, but that they possessed their spirit, and that in similar circumstances they would have done as they did. Verse 32, fill you up then, etc. This is a prediction of what they were about to do. He would have them act out their true spirit and show what they were, and evince to all that they had the spirit of their fathers. This was done by putting him to death and persecuting the apostles. The measure, the full amount, so as to make it complete. By your slaying me, fill up what is lacking in the iniquity of your fathers until the measure is full, till the national iniquity is complete, till as much has been committed as God can possibly bear, and then shall come upon you all this blood, and you shall be destroyed. Verses 34 and 35. Verse 33. You serpents, this name is given to them on account of their pretending to be pious and very much devoted to God, but being secretly evil at the heart, filled with evil designs, as the serpent was in Genesis 3, 1-5. Generation of vipers, damnation of hell. This refers, beyond all question, to future punishment. So great was their wickedness and hypocrisy that, if they persevered in this course, it was impossible to escape the damnation that should come upon the guilty. This is the sternest language, but it by no means authorizes ministers to use such language on sinners today. Christ knew that this was true of them. He had an authority which none have today. It is not the province of ministers to denounce judgment or to use severe names, least of all to do it in the pretense of imitating Christ. He knew the hearts of men. We know them not. Verse 34. I send unto you prophets. Jesus doubtlessly refers here to the apostles and other teachers of religion. Prophets, wise men, and scribes were the names by which the teachers of religion were known among the Jews. And he therefore used the same terms when speaking of the messengers that he would send. I will has the force of the future. I will send. Some of them you shall kill, as in the case of Stephen, Acts 7:59, and James, Acts 12:1-2. Crucify, punish with death on the cross. There are no cases of this mentioned, but few historical records of this age have come down to us. The Jews had not the power of crucifying, but they had the power to deliver those whom they condemned to death into the hands of the Romans to do it. Shall scourge. This was done. Acts 22:19-24. 2 Corinthians 11:24-25. Persecute. This was fulfilled in the case of nearly all the apostles. 35. That upon you may come. That is, the nation is guilty. Your fathers were guilty. You have shown yourself to be like them. You are about, by slaying the Messiah and his messengers, to fill up the iniquity of the land. The patience of God is nearly exhausted, and the nation is about to be visited with single vengeance. These national crimes deserve national judgment, and the proper judgment for all these crimes are about to come upon you in the destruction of your temple and city. All the righteous blood. That is all the judgments due for shedding that blood. God did not hold them guilty for what their fathers had done, but temporal judgments descend on children in consequence of the wickedness of parents. And in the case of the drunken and profligate parents, a drunken father wastes the property of his children that they might have possessed. A gambler reduces his children to poverty and want. An imprudent and foolish parent is the occasion of leading his sons into places of poverty, ignorance, and crime, materially affecting their character and destiny. So of the Jews. The appropriate effects of their fathers' crimes were coming on the nation, and they would suffer upon the earth, upon the land of Judea. The word is often used with this limitation. See Matthew 4, verse 8. Righteous Abel, yes, slain by Cain, his brother. Genesis 4, verse 8. Zacharias, the son of Barachias. It is not certainly known who this was. Some have thought that it was the Zacharias whose death is recorded in 2 Chronicles 24, verse 20 and 21. He is there called the son of Jehoiada, but it is known that it was common among the Jews to have two names, as Matthew is called Levi, and Lebbeus Thaddeus, and Simon Cephas. Others have thought that the Jesus referred to here, the Zacharias the prophet, who might have been massacred by the Jews, though no account of his death is recorded. It might have been known, of course, by tradition. Whom you slew, whom you, Jews, slew, whom your nation killed. Between the temple and the altar, between the temple properly so called and the altar of burnt offering in the court of the priests. See the plan of the temple in my notes on Matthew 21, verse 12. Verse 36. Upon this generation, the destruction of Jerusalem took place about 40 years after this was spoken. Verse 37. O Jerusalem, would I have gathered you? And so Jesus would have protected and saved your children, that is, your people. Your house, verse 38, the temple, the house of worship of the Jews, the chief ornament of Jerusalem, desolate, about to be desolated and destroyed, to be forsaken as a place of worship and delivered into the hands of the Romans and destroyed. Verse 39, you shall not see me, etc. The day of your mercy is gone by. I have offered you protection and salvation, and you have rejected it. You are about to crucify me, and your temple is to be destroyed, and you, as a nation, to be given to a long and dreadful suffering. You will not see me as a merciful Savior offering you redemption anymore till you have borne these heavy judgments. They must come upon you and be borne until you would be glad to hail a deliverer and say, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed be he that comes as the Messiah to bring deliverance. This has not yet been accomplished, but the days will come when the Jews long cast out and rejected, will hail Jesus as the Messiah and receive him whom their fathers slew as the merciful Savior. The end of the comments of Albert Barnes on Matthew chapter 23.